Welcome to episode 16 of the WINS live interview series. I'm Amie Sheridan, host and founder of WINS Media. The mission of this series is to elevate the The mission of this series is to elevate the visibility of women in sports and entertainment to create a connected environment for authentic storytelling. Thank you for joining us as we speak with influential leaders from across sports, entertainment, and beyond. Today, I have Sue Thaden, CEO of CRI and From Now On with me. I'm so excited. Sue is this, as I mentioned, the CEO founder of not only one, but two businesses. She founded her first company, Client Resources, Inc., an IT staffing and solutions firm at age 30. For 20 years, she has grown her businesses on the get it great or the gig service mentality to stay high value to her clients and build a culture of success. In 2015, Sue founded her second company, From Now On, after her team developed FanX, a mobile communications platform serving over 100 colleges, high schools, teams, venues, and events in the United States, including multiple NCAA championship events, the NAIA, the Ohio State University, Rice University, Xavier University, and of course now high schools across the United States. I'm so excited to have you, Sue. Welcome.
Thank you, Amie. I've been looking forward to this all week. I mean, we got to know each other in the last few years, and thanks for having me on. It's fun to hear when you started off today saying it's the 16th episode. Yes. So congrats to you for all the progress.
Thank you so much. It's been such a fun ride, and I really love this part of it, is sort of having candid conversations with women who have really paved the path in the industry for all of us women watching. And I'm always just so impressed by everyone I speak to, from both the personal and the professional side. So this is one of the best things that I do, in my opinion.
It's fun to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So let's start with the business, the stuff that you're working on today. And as I mentioned in the intro, you have two companies. All right. So you're wearing a lot of hats. Not only do you have two companies, you're a mother, you're involved in the Omaha community, you have a lot going on. So let's start with From Now On, right? So From Now On, your second business, mobile communications platform serving athletics programs across the country. You and your team are now, right? You have over 100 schools on the platform, starting to see exponential growth on the FanX platform. Can you tell us a bit about what you're focused on right now with that company? And then also with CRI, as that company continues to grow. And I might mention that both companies sort of came out of the pandemic, perhaps stronger than going in, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, it is. The grit of the team, right? And you say, like you mentioned, I'm juggling a lot. We're all juggling a lot. And the more we recognize that in each other, the more we can support each other and grow, right? So CRI, we have a fantastic leadership team. The person that runs most of CRI has been with us 14 years, Tori Young, and we have great things going on in there. So my time there is more leadership focused, strategy for next year, oversight, support. And From Now On, that's where most of my day-to-day goes today. And a couple things, focus, your word, what am I focused on? And that's on a sticky on my monitor half the time, the word focus, because we should just pick a few things and be razor tight, crush it, kick it all the way through. So mine are really two things: partnerships. We're really going to grow our business with the great partners around the country we've been able to land, getting to know their executives, their roadmap, how we work together, how we can 1 + 1 = 3 together. So I spend most of my time there. The other portion of the majority of my focus would be obviously sales, supporting our sales team every day, looking at marketing materials, always polishing up our presentation. So every time we show up, whoever's on the other end says, man, they were awesome. They were like a bright spot in our day. They're cool. They're organized. They're on top of it. We had a big meeting last Friday with almost 100 reps from one of our partners. And they said, you guys are always so polished and so put together. And our team led the meeting, but I was proud. So a lot around sales, showing up perfect, being conscious of our impact, being intentional, and then scaling meetings. We're at 16 people. The roles that we need to add, maybe roles we've never added, and the opportunity for our current employees, the sky's the limit. Somebody needs to step to the next level, build the team behind them. Somebody needs to be able to build out different roles. From implementation now needs to be specialized. Account management needs to be specialized. So a lot of firsts. So we talk about what are the triggers to scaling our resources and our technology, what triggers either of those decisions. And we're actually having a monthly meeting now with 4 of us around talking through the scaling of the organization, so that it's not just that once a year, because we have officially jumped on the hockey stick. Our pipeline, between our 4 pipelines, sales pipelines, we have over 300 schools in our pipeline. We've never had that going into the end of the year. So we're positioned for growth and preparing for growth. So it should be a really fun 2022.
It is so exciting. And, we've known each other for a while. I think you touch on all this stuff. And for me, having observed your business over the past few years, and, when I first came in and met you guys, it was so clear to me that you ran the business in a way that was very clear to everybody inside the building, right? Bringing people on board, instilling a culture of service. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you do in your onboarding process, but also ongoing? I mean, you talk a lot about sales. I know that you came up into the industry through that, right? So it makes sense that you're highly focused on that. But can you talk a little bit more about some of the things that you do with your employees to kind of keep everybody going the same direction?
Boy, it's a daily thought too. If I could pause a second, in culture, we've always CRI from now on. We've always defined the word culture as how we do things, and we do things with service. We serve each other. How can I make your job better? We together serve our clients. With our clients, serve their customers or their fans, their community. So that's at the core of our culture. It's how we do things is definitely service focused. But, and I have to say, I know you asked what we do ongoing. As everyone knows, it's the hiring that really is the seed to the garden and depends on what you're going to grow. And so if you can hire well, meaning we follow the Ideal Team Player by Patrick Lencioni, the hungry, humble, smart. We look for hungry, humble, smart people that are coachable, people that are really sharp, they're eager, they're fun to be around. We have a joke with Tori, our head that does the head person that leads all of our hiring. I always say, okay, did you want to follow her to her car? Did you want to get in the elevator with them? Like, did they leave you wanting more? Get that one. That's who we want on our team. Let's make everybody's day a little more fun with the team members that we add. But once we onboard them, we talk about gig, get it great. It's everywhere. It's really in the fabric of CRI and from now on. But you got to show each other what you mean. So we do a book called a Disney book, and it talks about how they polish the brass every night, because tomorrow a grandma may be here for the first time ever, or a boy may be here for his first time ever. And so we talk about that Disney experiences. These little things are gig, guys, buttoning up the details so everyone around you is happy you're at the table, feels like you were, a bright spot in their day again. And then we also do some awareness, bull, owl, lamb, tiger assessments when you come on board, so you can understand how you show up. Am I a bull? Am I an owl? How am I showing up? How's that impacting the room? So we try to do a lot around self-development, self-awareness. We've developed a leadership program with a coach out of Chicago. I've had a number of people go through it, and it's a lot of self-awareness, influence, impact, problem solving, uncomfortable discussions type stuff. So that goes on all the time. We do front stage, backstage training. Be very intentional about how we show up in front of the customer, how we show up with the customer, with a candidate that we're trying to hire. And then ongoing, we do meetings. We do a roar at 4 every Thursday. And now there's very few people in our office, but that is the fullest day. We want to be COVID safe. But the roar at 4 is just who wants to get together and have some fun. We have a basketball tournament. People may drink a beer or may just chat. We're doing a chili feed next Thursday for whoever's comfortable with the chili cook-off contest. So we try to create little get-together points so that the relationships stay solid. I know with your kids, you probably have the same thing. When you don't spend time with your kid, like playing catch, sitting on the couch, watching a movie, all of a sudden it's like, pack your backpack. Where's your shoes? But you need to go play catch a little bit because that relationship grows, stretches, and conversations go to a different place. So I don't know, I guess we play together a little bit and try to have celebrations as we can today. Our goal right now that we're really struggling with is we usually have a holiday party for our different groups. It's that one time a year you get the employee and significant other and you say, thank you. And they get to mingle with each other, meet the spouse of the person the spouse talks about every day, feel the vibe and the caringness of the company. And ideally they walk out and say, this company cares about us. Hey, that was a fun time. Thank you guys. I realize they care about me. So this year we're trying to say, how do you send that feeling to everybody when not everybody's comfortable getting in a room and having a casino night? So any ideas anybody has on that one? We're racking our brain. I think we're getting there, but we want to still give everybody that same feeling that we usually give in person.
Right. And I'm sure that businesses all over the place are solving for that exact problem, is how do we celebrate this Christmas, this holiday, in a way that everyone feels safe and appreciated. But, again, listening to you talk, Sue, it's who wouldn't want to work for you, right? I mean, the company that you're creating and the attention that you pay to your team, the investment that you put into that is so obvious, and the payoff, right, is there. I mean, people stay with the company, people grow with the company is growing. And instead of, focusing on what's the bottom line, what are the goals, I'm sure that you guys do that. What are the sales goals? It's, are we taking care of our people? Are they feeling appreciated? Are they growing? And I think it's just so brilliant. And I love listening to you talk about that.
I appreciate
that. I really do.
I have room for improvement, but we weren't going to talk about that.
Yeah. So, okay. And I really loved your analogy to treating your employees, like you would treat your children. So in a lot of ways, and we don't have to go off on this tangent, but being a parent definitely has impact on the way that you would run a company, right? Because it changes your perspective on a lot of things. And, into the second question, it's a perfect transition. When you created your first company, you were a young mom, right? And how many kids did you have at that time when you were starting CRI?
She turned 1 2 months after I started it.
That's amazing. Right? So that's a crazy time to start a business, right?
Good as any, I suppose.
Yeah, crazy as any. So new mom, starting an IT staffing company, filling out the role of sort of being the boss, and then adding a second business to your portfolio in 2015. I'd love to hear about some of the little things that you bring to your work, whether it's from the professional side, from your career journey, that have influenced the leader that you are today.
Where there's so many things, and quite frankly, new stuff every day, right? Impacts you. I just grabbed a tea working from home today, and at Colin Powell's funeral, and the guy talked about how generous and genuine he was to everyone he met. And he made the comment, I heard about 30 seconds of it while the tea was being processed. And he said, Colin Powell always reminded people, you must be careful of how you treat people, because you don't know what they're dealing with at home, what they're dealing with in the rest of their life. And make sure that you just realize that in the way that you treat people. I've thought that a long time. I'm sure I heard it from someone else, but I thought that was so touching. Gosh, some of the things I really would say are a focus I've had to keep, rejuvenate all along the way is mindset and confidence. And different things work for different times. The woman that did the power pose stuff, that's hey, I got to go into a big meeting. I'm feeling small at the moment. You got to go shake yourself off in the bathroom and power pose. And I got this, and just get that adrenaline going up in your brain to just go tackle and show up your best. So different mindset things. One I have done for years that maybe I've told you about, that one of my coaches taught me: go big, end fig, go, begin in gratitude. Start the day with 20 gratitudes, end fig, finish in gratitude. And it's wiring your brain to look for good all day long. You get a white car, you see white cars. I'm competitive. All of us have this little bit of type A thing. If I need 20, I can phone in 3. Boy, that dog was awesome today. My daughter did great at her volleyball game, quick phone in 3, but 20, you kind of got to make sure your brain's dialed into that all day long. So I think some of the things that I've really worked on my whole career is that mindset management, keeping myself confident. People expect me to make them proud when they bring me into a meeting or an employee's introducing me to a new employee. I take it very seriously. Being with you today, I said to some of my team, my biggest concern I always have is my team going to be proud of what I did? Are they going to feel like I'm proud that I'm part of that? And so I take it very seriously and thoughtfully that my actions reflect on others, and I want to be the best me for them. And so that's something I have had to mature into. When we started the business, I didn't want president on my business card. I wanted account exec because I was going to go crush the market and get some deals. But every company needs a president. So clearly I had to put that title on my card, and I'm comfortable in my skin here today. But that's a long journey, and it takes a lot of confidence building. One thing, if I could just say one more comment, the people you spend your time with are so critical. And we've talked about this with you, starting your business. It's so successful. It's fun to see what you've spun out of it as you've gone down your journey, and more to come will be fun to see. But the people we spend time with influence us to traject forward, continue to be creative, stand tall, open-minded, confident, keep our guilt levels low. It's really important we migrate toward people that fill our bucket. Equally important, we're doing it to others. If someone filled mine, I gotta pause and fill someone else's. When someone taps me and asks a question, don't just answer it. Maybe they need a little more from you than you thought. So those things are just some of the life lessons or personal things that I've tried to work on throughout the years.
Yeah. I love all of it. I think to your second point, surrounding yourself with people, gravitating toward people that you respect, that inspire you. I mean, in my business every single day, maybe not every single day, but most days I'm talking to people who are so inspiring to me, right? I think that's why I love this series so much, because I get to speak to influential women who have amazing stories and amazing experiences. And it means so much to me to be able to be, having these conversations just at a baseline, just to listen, right? At all of the things that you've learned and that you're going to continue to do. So
yeah, you should write a book, right?
I should write a book, right? Thank you for that too.
Summarizing all the amazing people. We want to read it.
Yes. All right. So segment 3, I call story time. And what I did here is a little bit different, because I know you think outside the box, which is one of the things that I really love about you. So I create a list of words, and a lot of these words do impact women. They impact men and women, but there's a list of words. I'm asking you to pick one, right? And tell me a story from your career. The words are permission, confidence, perfection, hustle, courage, swagger, time, credibility, and trust. And I'd love for you to pick one of those words and give me a story that connects it to your experience.
Here's where I'm tongue-tied. I can't pick just one. Can I cheat?
Yes, cheat.
I'll tell one story to follow your rules. You're the leader. I need to follow your process here. The story that comes to mind is early on in my career with our CRI, and it lives in me still today. When we thought we'd been on this project at this energy company, and we went through the whole interview process. Our team went through the interview process. It was going to be a rewrite of a customer service system for a national gas provider, let's call it. And they had just gotten a terrible rating on their customer service, and they wanted to be number 1. So they were going for broke. They're bidding on this. And we had the team, we got in the room with their team and our team, and the love signals were there, and the finishing each other's sentences. And I understand your architecture. And, oh, do you have a question? The dynamics were just beautiful, smiles all around the room. We get to the final presentation, and the head nods from the CIO. You guys, this is refreshing. And there's, 5 companies bidding. Our company is probably four years into the deal. We're 22 now at CRI, and of course 5, 6 from now on. So anyways, we get an email. We lost the deal. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. They loved us. We love them. What do? We do a debrief, can't figure it out. I reach out to a couple of the people on the team. They're like, we can't figure it out. So I called the CEO and I said, I am not begging for the business back. I'm stumped. We thought we had this and I really need some feedback. I would value any feedback you have so that we don't do this again. So he calls me in. I go to his building, top floor of this beautiful building. The assistant walks me into this boardroom and I'm, 5 years in and probably wearing some hot JCPenney suit or something and sitting at the table with my pad out and my pen, ready to just take note and be an eager learner, take it on the chin. He finally comes in, he shuts the door and he sits down and I said, thanks so much for meeting with me. I'm not trying to make anything uncomfortable. We really need to grow because we really thought we had this. And he knocked on the table. It's this. I said, I don't get it. It's this. He did it like 3 times. He said, you know who sits around this table? Our board of directors. And he started to name them. And I'm like, they're a Berkshire company. And I was like, wow. And he said, I invited you to the boardroom to tell you the reason you didn't get the deal is no one in the boardroom knew who you were. This is one of the most critical projects we are going to have in the next few years. Getting our customer service rating from the bottom to the top. I couldn't tell the board we're gambling on an unknown. And I just went, oh man, it's my fault. I had not networked through the community much yet. I had not created true executive level relationships. So telling my team, you guys really won that deal. And now I know my part. I need to become a big part of this community and I need to be friendly with the leaders in the community, show valuable contribution genuinely, get close to every leader of every company. Today, I was talking to one of our reps and she talked about a new partner. Right away, I linked in the CEO. And it's now a daily habit. What's my part and what they're all trying to do? I need to make sure that we don't lose deals because I haven't done my part. So that lesson, like you drop a pebble and I don't think it's ever going to hit the shore. I take that one really seriously. And it's genuine, building those relationships so they know how you think. So trust is, predicting someone's behavior based on a past pattern of behavior. They need to trust us and know how we're going to act. So that was a wake-up call.
Yeah, that's a great story. I was really on the edge of my seat.
Were you?
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking like, what, the knocking? I would have been so confused.
I was so confused and I was shaking and I'm sure I could barely write because I'm 34 and this big boardroom.
You know what? How great is that of you to call the CEO and say, tell me what we did wrong? I think that's what you did right. As part of your role is say, what did I do wrong? Because had you not done that, you would have done that again. You would have made that mistake again, right?
And my team would have kept busting their butt doing their part and it would have just never sewn the seam together. And with your words, it was the first thing that I looked at when you said that. I was like, credibility with the gas company, but it also is trust. And it's also courage that, kind of having the guts to get in that elevator and go to the top floor and sit in there.
Yeah. In your hot JCPenney suit.
I honestly think I can remember it was like a skirt suit with gray plaid. Remember, we had
what did we do wrong?
I don't think I have any suits like that, of course, but
Oh, it's classic. So that's great. I love that story. I love that you went back in. I love that you got the answer and then you didn't make that mistake again, right? So you bring that with you.
Not.
Till now is, what is my part? Let me make sure I'm doing my part. And I'm, from the top to support the team. That's great. That's great. Okay. So next part of the interview, focusing on, women in sports and entertainment, which is the lane that I run in these days. And, the statistic that I'm building a lot off of here is an estimated 21% of C-suite executives in the big 4 US professional sports leagues are women, 21%. And so that statistic has inspired me to really go all in, elevating the visibility of women owned and led businesses like yours. And so elevating and creating visibility is sort of, if you can be it, you can see it kind of thing, right? And it might be running a team, women might want to run a company, right? Like you. And I also have to mention that you have, 3 children of your own. You have 3 daughters, right, who are looking up to you. They've had the privilege of watching you build and grow 2 businesses, which is amazing. And, my first question is, do any of your daughters want to run a company someday? And then secondly, what advice do you have for women out there who want to be CEO of their own business in this competitive industry?
Okay. Great. Got it. Okay. So in interest of focus, I wrote it down again. As far as my daughters, so one just turned 23 2 days ago, graduated from college in May. She's an actuarial. I'm so proud of her. She's actually doing like a pricing model for a new life insurance product. And I'd be on the marketing end of that project. And then, so she's very math minded, creative, amazing creativity. And it's so fun to see her earn her own stripes, have her own paycheck, save her own money. There's a confidence in, I bought this, I built this. So that's teaching me a lot. 19's number 2, Grace. Catherine's 16, number 3. And when we built any of these, that was not at all on my mind. You don't see that far down the road at that age. You're almost just slightly surviving to get through the beginning. So I would say I think the drive and capability is actually in all 3 of them of developing a business and or leading teams. They all have leadership traits, so different than each other. One shows it by how hard she works, and one has a little bit of a outspoken leadership, the other 2, but they all have good leadership traits. But I've read a lot about confident people, independent people. Those things help you be your best self, go get what you want. You lay your head on your pillow at night feeling good about yourself. I feel good about myself. And so much says, let them go figure things out, chase your passion, chase your career. And if at some point the passion that's been going on a while with a successful career aligned, it would look obvious to me. This is sounding very artistic versus scientific, but that's probably how I feel about it. Let the people develop, let the girls become the best thing they can be. I valued that so much. When I bought my first car, it was a Camry, like my first new car. It's like, this is my champagne colored brand new Camry. I bought it. You just feel good about yourself. And so I want my kids to have that. I don't know where it will lead from there. We'll have to see.
Right. But they've certainly had a front row seat to watch you build and grow something amazing that's personal to you, that's successful, which is incredible for them.
Yeah, sometimes I have to tone it down, but they hear me talking about how we're changing pricing or we're figuring out, we just hired a new recruiter and she's super awesome. They hear it all of it, the gig even, the Get It Great, they wear the hashtag Get It Great t-shirts themselves, and a couple of fun ones like that it's just become part of who they are. They don't know any different.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm totally on board with it. Watch and see what they do, kind of let them pave their own path, right? But of course, what you do inherently inspires them and influences them. So it should be interesting to see what they choose.
Yeah, it will be really fun.
And the second question is, what advice do you have for women who do want to be CEO, who dream of it, right? In the competitive business of sports, which I know you've been in now for 6 or 7 years.
Yep. And IT is pretty similar, gender makeup, which is the other business that we've been in. I want to be thoughtful on that one. If someone's I've never been in a big corporation, so I like to refer to my own examples more than philosophize on what could be. However, I'll share some things that hopefully translate even to that situation. I always be careful who you surround yourself with, and be conscious of who you surround yourself with. You can be guilty by association, or you can be promoted by association. I mean, you yourself have to get it done, but I think oftentimes my experience is I haven't had as many female leaders near me, right above me. And so you do default to the male leader. And you know what? There's a lot of male advocates of women, and they will sit by you in the meeting. That sounds silly, but I've been in meetings where you're walking in, you're like, it's all men. Which one's okay with me sitting by them? Here she comes. And so, you look for the male advocate, but I think you got to constantly look for a mentor, that's given you feedback on the next level, I think in the company and outside the company. And I wouldn't underestimate the board of directors. If there's ever opportunity to meet anybody on the board of directors and get some guidance and advice, the simple thing we always hear about is speak up. I've been involved in this group we call Code Crush, the University of Nebraska, Omaha, a big mission to create interest in females and going into IT careers. It's going on right now, actually. It's our 5th year. And women are so slow to raise their hand in a group if they're the minority. Women, African American, Hispanic, if you're the minority, you're slow to raise your hand so you don't get picked, so nobody knows your talent. You're not challenged. You bow out of climbing the ladder or the industry or the department or whatever it is. So you own your part in it too. Raise your hand a lot. Seek a lot of one-on-one time and conversation. I think that we've done recruiting for 22 years in IT, and time again, you see it's a neat thing. Guys, they're going for the next job. Oh, I got 60% of that. Let me have it. You get the women, I have to pick up a few more skills till I'm qualified. So being honest about yourself. You're going for the next job. You're not going for the same job. So I don't have any words of wisdom to tuck under your pillow, but I do think it's the relationships around you that are honest with you and continue to speak up. So relationships, speaking up, demonstrating you're green and growing. I think people want to know we're not going to have to provide them with tons of scaffolding. They are already green and growing. I would love to be in a round table with a bunch of women and understand each other's questions to, it seems like even that like what you're doing, connecting leaders and amazing women. I've seen some of your recent ones are just unbelievable, what you've done, but being part of a connected environment is really important.
Absolutely. I think, you're funny. You're like, I don't have any advice for you to tuck under your pillow after giving 10 pieces of gem advice.
Well, I'm looking at one word. I have one word.
Right. But, I really, and this hasn't, maybe it's come up, but not the way that you articulated it. Finding the male advocates, I think, is really powerful because and I'm glad you said that IT is sort of the same, right? So in sports, entertainment, IT, whatever industry it is, you might walk into a conference room, might be the one woman in there, and it's figuring out, okay, which of the people in this room will be an advocate, a supporter, a friend, really, who, I can rely on, goes along with mentorship, love inside and outside the company. I think that's important. And also I love your point about the board. That's something that hasn't come up in conversations that I've had, is meet people on the board. That's genius, right? It seems so obvious, but also it's probably seems unattainable, I think, to women, maybe even men, in a situation where they're like, oh, the board. That sounds like it's up in, down the yellow brick road somewhere, right? But an opportunity. So that's really great advice. Really, really great advice that you give there.
The board of directors does the CEO hiring typically, it seems like. So just network till you can get access to someone is what I think is important.
Absolutely. And raise your hand, of course, be heard, be seen, be heard. Don't be afraid. I like how you said, guys come in to a staffing situation and they have 60% of that, so they should get it, right? And women might come in and say, oh, well, I know I don't have 40%. It's like cup half full, cup half empty. Yeah. Which approach are you going to take to showcase your confidence? I love that.
I think the guys are doing it right. I think we could model that,
Right.
Learn from them. It's great to do it that way.
Definitely. All right. So wrapping it up, final question for you. Our mission, again, and you said it so eloquently, building a network of women who can cheer each other on, support each other, collaborate, create impact together, and celebrate their wins together. What wins are you working toward? It could be personal, professional, the last, couple months of the year or in 2022 that you'd like to share so that we can cheer you on.
Boy, that's so generous and important. Number one, being part of the network is super cool. Being part of your group is fantastic. So continuing, sometimes it's start, stop, keep, right? Keep. So let's keep that. Well, so where we are in our goals, hiring, anybody that wants to be a strategic partner, lead our strategic partnerships, that has great experience working with sports partners, have them call me. So if you're plugged for those sales roles, we're adding sales roles. So in that hiring, we're really trying to get our brand out, our name out, our exciting story out for CRI and from now on. And then some of the scaling, I'm eagerly looking for contacts in the, we've run CRI, still more to do. We know our metrics. We know we have a lot of contacts. Next week, I'll be with a whole group of executives in the tech industry in Amelia Island. We have great contacts to keep us aware of trends, what we should do, where should we spend our time. In this product business, there's a lot of scaling of technology, scaling of service support. We don't want to compromise the gig experience for our clients, our fans, or our employees. So I love to meet people that are a step ahead of us, or 3 steps or 4 steps ahead of us, that are generous to share. Here's what we did. Don't do that. Here's what we did that worked, the sharing the whole story. So continuing to develop our contacts with people that can teach us things, and hopefully as a payback, we bring them energy and ideas as well.
Absolutely. And again, right, and staying true to the green and growing, the gig mentality with that response is, you're looking to grow, you're looking to learn, you're looking to connect. I love it. So yes, we will spread this far and wide in hopes that we can land you ahead of strategic partnerships and
Thank you.
Some people that want to come and, kind of be, maybe industry mentors of some kind, and bringing you guys in, to different segments. And, I've loved watching From Now On grow over the years, and you guys power through the pandemic, and, everything that you guys did to support your partners during that time, and the content that you put out during that time. So congratulations on all the success that you've had. It's really amazing.
Well, it's been so fun. I remember when you first came to Omaha, and then we sent you Runzas. You were like, what's a Runza? You guys talking about Runza, and we sent you Runzas. You know what? We might do a partnership with Runza.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. In place. But you've really got your fingerprints on our branding, our spirit of marketing, and thank you for all you contribute to what we do. And I do see you like as scaffolding around our marketing team, and it makes it so much fun to work together.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to work with you guys. And you guys are an amazing company through and through. And, the team has you to thank for all the time and energy you put into the culture there, and, just the way that you guys operate. It's really impressive.
It's a great team. You've met a lot of them. It's pretty inspiring just to be around the table with them. Yesterday we had a meeting, and we're supposed to be on Zoom, I thought. And they're like, we're all in the conference room. I literally at my desk went, yay! Half sprinted to do this face-to-face meeting. It's fun to be around people you're inspired by.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Sue, this was amazing. I really appreciate your time coming on and enlightening us with all of your advice and experiences and stories. Thank you again for everything that you do to elevate and inspire women, sports entertainment, IT, recruiting, and thanks for being here.
Yes. Thank you, Amie. I have this up handy. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. It's been fun to be together today, and looking forward to a lot more time together.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.